give way, then the back wheels give way. It's a lively car. Stage 1, 350-ish bhp. Right, so that is then my 2014 Audi S3. It's obviously in, I think it's tornado red, notorious Audi colour. It's got the silver pack on it, so it's got the silver mirrors, a bit like my RS6. Silver, like chrome grille and stuff. I think personally, I think it would look amazing if it had a black pack on it with darker wheels. I think that would look really good. The windows have been smoked as well, suits it a lot. But I suppose going for the black look, I feel like this with my RS6 as well, it just takes the innocence away from the car. I think it does look like a nice clean example with all the silver and the chrome on it. So to come around the back, obviously S3s and Golf Rs, they've got the quad exhaust at the bottom. That's a nice little touch, especially for a sports hatch. There's sort of S badges everywhere you look as well, just to remind you that you're in an Audi S car. Inside, in fact, let's continue talking about the outside. One thing I've always thought of S3s is they're a bit small. They even feel smaller than the earlier S3. They kind of feel, I don't know if statistically they're smaller, but they feel like a bit of a smaller car. And for me, that's been one reason why I've always liked the Golf R over the S3. Not saying that I prefer it, because I'm going to get onto that in a sec. But size is important, you know. I'm a big lad. If I jump in there quickly, if I sort of sit in here, I do feel a little bit cramped. Obviously today I've got this big bloody big jacket on and stuff, but it does feel a little bit more cramped in here compared to a Golf R. But let's talk about the interior quickly. So some people say that the dash is a little bit plain. I quite like the dash. I think that's like really got a real modern look to it. These heater vents, I think when I first saw that, I thought there was something missing. I thought something was broken off of them, but again, they've grown on me. I think they look really nice and sleek. The screen in the middle, like when you start the engine, let me just quickly do that. If I spin that camera around, start the engine, that screen pops up. When I first drove like this new generation Audi A3 and that screen was just plonked in the middle of the dash there, that annoyed me. It's grown on me now. I think it's nice. This has apparently got the larger screen in it. Can't remember what the smaller screen looks like, but you've got all your controls down here and all that. It's quite nice. This is an S-tronic car. Oh, by the way, you have got the option if you like to just press that button there and the screen goes down. All right, so let me just turn that on, turn that down even, bring that back up. And jobs are good. And sat nav, you'll see by the map there that we're currently in Leighton Buzzard on Billington Road. Sat nav's brilliant. I love all of that as well. That's a nice little extra. This one's got heated seats, all these dials and stuff as well. Yeah, the dials, I like the way that the font's sort of slightly italic. I've mentioned that in previous videos on S cars compared to normal Audi A3s where they're just, I think the font's slightly different, maybe a bit more of a normal font on the Audi A3s. And the dials also are grey rather than, I think on the A3s they're black. So yeah, what else was I going to say? Spin that around. The seats, yeah, these seats, it's very cramped in here. Spin that screen around so I can see what's going on. These seats, I mentioned it in the previous video, they're a couple of grand on eBay. So if you bought an Audi S3, sorry, with these seats in it, it's going to cost you a couple of grand to spec up the seats. That's mints, you can see. Just went to shop, bought a load pack of mints. Yeah, but that is a nice option. They're called Super Sport seats. They're a lot of money, but it transforms the interior of this car. And I think if anything, like for an Audi S3 to have seats that are like, you know, this is sort of thing you'd expect to see in higher end cars like the RS6. You kind of expect to open the door of an RS6 and see seats like that, but in an S3 that is like quite an abnormal little touch, and I'd really like the seats. They're comfortable, they look the part, and they do finish off the interior nicely. So if you are buying an S3, I can't even say make sure you get one of them seats. If you do manage to get one with them seats, that's a nice touch. This has got Bang & Olufsen as well, and I think when you turn the lights on, so you can't quite see it in a minute, but then they glow, the little lights around so you can't really see it there, but that looks nice as well. But I think straight away the interior of an Audi compared to the interior of a VW is definitely a higher premium, and I think that's fair to say. VW and Audi, they're the same group, but I think Audis are definitely built to be a higher quality finish. Is that a fair thing to say? But yeah, I do like the interior of this car, but don't get me wrong, I love the interior of a Golf R as well. So what we're going to do is I'm on my way to work. Let's go for a little drive and explain a little bit how it drives. All right, okay, drive select dynamic modes. We put dynamic mode on and we'll go manual mode, dynamic mode. So we're going to be using the pedals in the back of the steering wheel. I just prefer to drive like that. And we are off. Let's turn the lights off. Dynamic mode as well puts like a pops and bangs, puts the exhaust like into a pops and bangs mode. I'll say the exhaust, or puts a map on the car to make it do pops and bangs. This has actually got a pops and bangs map installed on it as well. I mentioned in the previous video that it's got a stage 1 map on it. It's like an off-the-shelf map, so it's not like a custom map. But it's actually really good. I'm like genuinely, I'm impressed with the map on this car. So, but usually I'd be dead against an off-the-shelf map, but honestly, it's a picture of the scene, right? I'm driving down the road, I'm on my way to work. Yeah, it's the weather, you can see it's sort of on and off, raining, not raining, and I've got traction control off. I'm driving this I know you said Golf R, driving this S3, and I've been daily driving this for the past few days now because the RS6 is obviously getting the turbos done. It's going to be savage when that's done, and I was using the Edition 30, but that's gone off for paint, so I'm going to have an update on that for you soon. And then the M3s, they're just, you know, whatever, you know. I'm using this in a minute. Love this car, and yeah, driving down the road on my way to work. Got the car in dynamic mode, the traction control's off, the roads are a little bit damp, and the wheels are spinning. I'm getting 4-wheel spin on this car through first, second, and a little bit into third, and that's impressive for a car that's got it's got a carbon intake under the bonnet. That looks quite nice, but hasn't really got any hardware. It's just got a little bit of software. So standard, they're 300 bhp, again same as a Golf R, and remapped like with a stage 1 ECU map. They're in the region of 350 bhp. Obviously I ain't got a dyno for this car, so I can't quote exact figures, but it's in that region. And mapping one of these cars, I say it's too often, it just transforms the drive of the car. So hard to, I'm on a bit of a fast road at the minute, so I'll turn off in a second, go down a little lane, but it just drives so well. The way it delivers power, it's just so on point. And I always say, I encourage people, if you own, you can hear the pops and bangs, feels bloody good. Yeah, I always encourage people, if you own a car with a turbo, go and get it mapped. Honestly, it'll be the best thing that you ever do to your turbocharged car. It just transforms. See, that's wheel spinning a bit there, just transforms the way it drives. So, and I was driving down the road in this morning, and I was thinking, do you know what, obviously I had my Golf R, that was 560 bhp, it was an extremely quick car, and I'm driving this, obviously it's not quite as savage, is that a good word? It's not nowhere near as savage as my Golf R. It was obviously a bit of a next level beast, but this is shockingly, is that the right word either? The power delivery of this car is impressive, put it that way. I say it again a lot. Certain cars, you know, mentally you get into a car and you think, rear wheels kicking in there is so good. Mentally, some cars you get into and you think, oh, it's only X amount of bhp, and like an E46 M3 for example is 343 bhp, and don't get me wrong, you'll get into an E46 M3 and it will impress you. You will enjoy it and it will feel quick. But you get into this car which has got a similar amount of bhp. You know, this road's rubbish. I've gone into like a housing estate. This is not good, is it? I need to find a private road, don't I? You get into this car, and anyone would think this, anyone that got into this car today and then jumped out of an M3 and jumped into this, it's just so much more on point. And that's not me putting M3s down, because they're quick. Like, don't get me wrong, please don't get me wrong. M3s, that recording, I thought I was banging on then, without recording. M3s are seriously quick, but the way that this delivers power, it just, yeah, it's impressive. So back to the subject of, is it better than a Golf R? Is an Audi S3 better than a Golf R? It's a question that I get asked a lot. Four-wheel drive cars, let me quickly talk about four-wheel drive cars. It is pissing it down with rain at the minute, and I am driving this car quite hard with confidence, and I think that's something else that a Golf R and an S3 offers you to anyone. Anyone can jump in one of these cars, cane the arse out of it, and feel quite safe. That's not me trying to encourage you to drive like an idiot, but trust me, if you're about to get in one of these for the first time ever, anyone could do it, and yeah, you'll be alright. But Golf Rs, right? Obviously, I'm like the Golf R guy. I've bought and sold loads of them. I've had the like, I bought that one off of Arthur. It was an exceptional car. I've done a load of content on Golf Rs, and I rate Golf Rs so highly. I think they're amazing cars. I like the fact, like I say, like, I'm a bit cramped in here, you know, these are definitely, the cockpit of these cars are a bit smaller. And Golf Rs, I had a Golf VR6 growing up, so the whole VW Golf thing's always been a bit of a stamp on me, I would say. But there's no getting away from the fact that S3s are definitely, like, as a fact, this is not my opinion, they are in fact more of a premium car than a Golf R, without a doubt. Some people prefer Golf Rs, that's a preference. Some people do prefer a Golf R over an S3, that's understandable, but there is definitely a bit more quality, a bit more class in an Audi than there is a VW. That's, you know, that was the purpose, that's their business model. We're going to offer these cars to offer people that want a bit more class, they're going to offer it to that type of person. But yeah, the interior of this car is lovely. The way it drives is impressive. Strangely, like really strangely, this is like the first S-tronic S3 that I've ever had. I've only ever had manual ones, and I got in this car a couple of days ago for the first time. I drove it and I just expected it would drive identical to a Golf R, but strangely it doesn't. I can't even put my finger on why it feels different to a Golf R. I'm sorry, I haven't got a bloody clue, but it does feel different. I don't know if it's just the way that the cockpit's different, I don't know, but it does feel like a different drive, which is a good thing, you know. We were often comparing these cars, S3s against Golf Rs, they're exactly the same. Why the hell would you spend more money and get an S3? I think it's probably worth spending more money and getting an S3. If you want to tune either one, you're going to get the same outcome out of either one. But the end result would be you'll have a higher quality of a car, wouldn't you? Is that fair to say? But like I say, it's bloody hot in here, man. Let me just get that heating down. Weather's all over the place, isn't it? Golf Rs are one of the best cars of all time. They're full drive. They offer them as a 3-door and a 5-door. They, you know, if you're a bit of a bigger lad like myself, you can get in one and feel comfortable. They're tunable. They're an amazing car, and I'll forever love Golf Rs. But I must admit that after driving this car for the last few days, I've really bonded with it. I like it a lot. I love the nimbleness of it. Again, Golf Rs offer nimbleness. I'm comparing that to my RS6. Not a nimble car. I love how this is just a little 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. It's a small body, and it just makes you feel really comfortable. What gear was that? 3rd gear. Back end kicked out a bit there. Stage 1 remapped. 350 bhp with an S-tronic gearbox. It's an amazing combination. It's a car that I highly rate, and anyone out there looking to buy one of these cars right now, it's a great car to buy. They haven't done their money, but they've done the majority of their money. Every car will do all of its money, or a big chunk of its money in the first 3 or 4 years of its life. These cars now, so this is a 14 plate, but still in the tail end of 2019. It's 5 years old. You can pick these up now. They start at about £15,000, and they are seriously good value for money. Anyone who ever owns one of these will think they've got or will have a dream car almost. Yeah, it is a top of the range Audi. So yeah, I rate them. Do I like them better than a Golf R? I think they are better than a Golf R, but it's personal preference, isn't it? All right. That's the summary of my video. I'm nearly at work now. I was just driving to work, and I thought I've got to get a video done on this car. I know it's going to be in demand, so there you go. That's my thoughts on it. I love S3s, I love Golf Rs, I love too many bloody cars. There's too many good cars out there, but if you're in the market to spend this amount of money on one, you need to go and get yourself a drive seat one, because I think you're going to love it, and you probably end up buying it, alright? Thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did like this video, hit like. If you're new to my channel, I upload every Wednesday and Sunday at 6 o'clock. I've got the E46 M3 touring build going on with a turbocharger, blah blah blah. I'm gonna have an update for that for you very soon as well, alright? I'm gonna get that sorted, don't worry. And yeah, give me a follow on Instagram at Calvin's Car Diary, and I'll see you in my next video, alright? Bye. In the next episode of Calvin's Car Diary, bit of a random one really, but on Instagram you lot did ask for it. I buy an extremely high mileage Mercedes E220 diesel. I'll see you on Sunday at 6 o'clock.